The galaxy was in a state of delicious chaos. Across countless star systems, rumors spread like wildfire about the Galactic Pizza Tournament, an event so grand that even the most hardened warriors and culinary masters couldn't resist its allure. The tournament promised not only fame and glory but also the ultimate prize, the legendary eternal pepperoni, said to grant the eater unparalleled strength and the ability to create the perfect pizza. For Goku, the Saiyan warrior who had saved Earth and the universe more times than he could count, the tournament was an opportunity too good to pass up. After all, who could resist the chance to fight and eat? The tournament was held on Planet Gourmet, a world renowned for its culinary wonders. The planet's surface was a patchwork of vibrant landscapes, from bubbling cheese volcanoes to rolling dough hills, and the air was thick with the aroma of freshly baked bread and sizzling toppings. The capital city, Sautopolis, was a sprawling metropolis of towering pizza ovens, neon-lit pizzerias, and bustling marketplaces where chefs and warriors alike traded secrets and ingredients. At the heart of the city stood the Colosseum Marinara, a massive arena shaped like a giant pizza slice, where the tournament would take place. Goku arrived on Planet Gourmet with his usual enthusiasm, his stomach growling louder than a Super Saiyan roar. He was joined by his longtime friend and rival, Vegeta, who had reluctantly agreed to participate after Bulma teased him about his lack of culinary skills. "This is beneath me," Vegeta grumbled as they walked through the city streets, dodging flying pizza cutters and rogue meatballs. "But if it means proving my superiority, so be it," Goku laughed, patting Vegeta on the back. "Come on, Vegeta, it'll be fun. Besides, you might even learn something about cooking." Vegeta shot him a glare but said nothing, his pride already stinging. As they entered the Colosseum Marinara, the pair was greeted by a cacophony of cheers and the sight of competitors from across the galaxy. There was Chef Zorgan, a towering alien with 6 arms and a reputation for creating gravity-defying pizzas, Spice Queen Mira, a fiery warrior who infused her dishes with explosive flavors, and Doughmaster Crunch, a doughy alien who could stretch his body into any shape. Goku's eyes sparkled with excitement. "This is gonna be awesome," he exclaimed, cracking his knuckles. Vegeta, meanwhile, scanned the competition with a calculating gaze, already strategizing how to outdo them all. The tournament's first round was a free-for-all battle, where competitors had to defend their pizzas while trying to steal ingredients from others. The arena was divided into sections, each containing a fully stocked kitchen and a glowing pizza oven. The rules were simple: create the best pizza while fending off attacks from rivals. As the starting bell rang, chaos erupted. Chef Zorgan hurled rolling pins like boomerangs, Spice Queen Mira unleashed a barrage of flaming chili peppers, and Doughmaster Crunch stretched his arms across the arena to snatch toppings from unsuspecting chefs. Goku, ever the improviser, leapt into action. He dodged a flying meatball with a backflip, landing gracefully in front of his pizza station. "All right, let's see. Pepperoni, mushrooms, and... oh, some of that space cheese," he muttered, grabbing ingredients with lightning speed. As he worked, a rolling pin came hurtling toward him. Without looking, Goku caught it midair and tossed it back at Chef Zorgan, who barely managed to dodge. "Nice try," Goku called out, grinning. Vegeta, meanwhile, was a whirlwind of precision. He moved with the grace of a seasoned warrior, his hands a blur as he assembled his pizza. When Spice Queen Mira tried to ambush him with a wave of spicy sauce, Vegeta countered with a burst of ki, deflecting the attack and sending her stumbling back. "Pathetic," he sneered, his pizza already halfway done. As the battle raged on, Goku and Vegeta found themselves working in tandem, their rivalry temporarily set aside. When Doughmaster Crunch attempted to ensnare Goku in his stretchy arms, Vegeta intervened with a well-timed energy blast, freeing his comrade. "Don't think this means I'm helping you," Vegeta muttered. Goku chuckled. "Thanks anyway," he replied, launching himself into the air to deliver a powerful kick that sent Crunch flying into a pile of flour. The first round ended with Goku and Vegeta advancing to the next stage, their pizzas deemed the best by the judges. But as they celebrated their victory, a shadow loomed over the arena. High above, in a darkened observation deck, a mysterious figure watched the proceedings with cold, calculating eyes. "So, the Scions have arrived," the figure murmured, his voice dripping with malice. "This tournament will be the perfect stage for my revenge." His name was Lord Crust, a former pizza tycoon who had been banished from Planet Gourmet for his ruthless business practices. Now, armed with a new power and a burning desire for vengeance, he planned to use the tournament to reclaim his throne, and destroy anyone who stood in his way. As Goku and Vegeta prepared for the next round, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The air seemed heavier, the cheers of the crowd more subdued. "You feel that?" Goku asked, his usual cheerfulness tinged with concern. Vegeta nodded, his eyes narrowing. "Something's coming," he said. "And it's not just another pizza." Little did they know, the Galactic Pizza Tournament was about to become a battle for more than just culinary supremacy. The eternal pepperoni was only the beginning, a much larger threat was brewing, one that would test their strength, their skills, and their bond as warriors. As the sun set over Planet Gourmet, casting the Colosseum Marinara in a golden glow, Goku and Vegeta stood side by side, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The tournament had only just begun, but the stakes were already higher than they could have imagined. And in the shadows, Lord Krust's sinister smile grew wider, his plan unfolding with every passing moment. The galaxy's greatest warriors would soon face their toughest challenge yet, one that would push them to their limits and beyond. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had reached its second round, and the arena buzzed with anticipation. Goku stood at the center of the stage, his stomach growling louder than a Saiyan battle cry. The stakes were higher than ever, not just for the title of Galactic Pizza Champion but for the fate of the universe itself. Unbeknownst to the competitors, a sinister force had infiltrated the tournament, its shadowy tendrils reaching into the hearts of even the most unlikely participants. As the announcer declared the start of the second round, Goku's opponent stepped forward, a towering, four-armed alien chef named Zorgax, whose reputation for culinary cruelty was matched only by his appetite for destruction. Zorgax's eyes gleamed with malice as he cracked his knuckles, each finger adorned with a razor-sharp pizza cutter. "You're out of your league, Saiyan," he sneered, his voice dripping with venom. "This isn't just about pizza anymore. It's about survival." Goku tilted his head, his usual carefree demeanor tinged with curiosity. "What do you mean? I thought this was just a friendly competition." Before Zorgax could respond, the ground beneath them trembled violently. A massive fissure split the arena floor, revealing a swirling vortex of energy. From its depths emerged a horde of robotic drones, their metallic bodies gleaming under the arena lights. Each drone was armed with a flamethrower and a net launcher, their purpose clear: to capture the competitors and deliver them to an unknown fate. The crowd erupted into panic, but Goku remained calm, his Saiyan instincts kicking in. "Looks like things just got interesting," he said with a grin, cracking his neck. Zorgax, however, seemed unfazed. "You're still focused on the wrong enemy," he growled, lunging at Goku with a flurry of pizza cutter strikes. Goku dodged with ease, his movements a blur as he countered with a swift kick to Zorgax's midsection. The alien chef staggered but quickly recovered, his forearm spinning like a deadly whirlwind. Meanwhile, the other competitors scrambled to defend themselves against the drones. Vegeta, who had been brooding in the corner, unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, his pride refusing to let him be outdone by Goku. "These pathetic machines are nothing compared to the might of a Saiyan prince," he roared, obliterating a cluster of drones with a single blast. Bulma, watching from the stands, rolled her eyes. "Typical Vegeta," she muttered, though a hint of worry flickered in her eyes. Piccolo, ever the strategist, used his stretchy arms to snatch drones out of the air, crushing them with ease. "We need to find the source of this attack," he called out to Goku. "These drones are just the beginning." Goku nodded, his focus split between Zorgax and the growing threat. "You're right, but I can't let this guy win the tournament," he replied, narrowly avoiding a spinning pizza cutter aimed at his head. As the battle raged on, a new figure entered the fray: Frieza, his cold, calculating smile sending shivers down the spines of everyone present. "What a delightful turn of events," he purred, his voice dripping with mockery. "I had hoped for a bit more." "Chaos." Goku's eyes narrowed. "Frieza. What are you doing here?" Frieza chuckled, his tail flicking lazily. "Oh, I couldn't resist the opportunity to see you squirm, Kakarot. But don't worry, I'm not here to fight. Not yet, anyway." Before Goku could respond, Zorgax let out a guttural roar, his body transforming into a monstrous, pizza-themed behemoth. His doughy skin hardened into a crust-like armor, and his pizza cutters grew to the size of battle axes. "You're all fools," he bellowed, his voice echoing through the arena. "This tournament was never about pizza. It was a trap, and you've all fallen right into it." Goku clenched his fists, his determination unwavering. "I don't care what this is about. I'm not letting you or anyone else ruin this for everyone." He powered up, his golden aura flaring as he ascended to Super Saiyan. The crowd gasped, their fear momentarily replaced by awe. Zorgax laughed maniacally, charging at Goku with his massive pizza cutter axes. The two collided in a spectacular clash of energy and steel, the force of their blows sending shockwaves through the arena. Vegeta, meanwhile, had his hands full with Frieza. "You've got some nerve showing your face here," he snarled, his own golden aura igniting. Frieza smirked, his tail swishing lazily. Oh, Vegeta, always so predictable. But tell me, do you really think you can stop what's coming? Before Vegeta could respond, a massive drone descended from above, its flamethrower engulfing him in a torrent of fire. Vegeta emerged unscathed, his rage boiling over. Enough of these games, he roared, launching himself at Frieza with a flurry of punches. Piccolo, realizing the gravity of the situation, called for a temporary alliance. We need to work together if we're going to survive this, he shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. Goku and Vegeta exchanged a glance, their rivalry momentarily set aside. Fine, Vegeta grumbled, but don't think this means I'm going soft. Goku grinned. Wouldn't dream of it. The three warriors formed a triangle, their combined energy creating a barrier that repelled the drones. Piccolo extended his arms, creating a massive energy net that ensnared the remaining machines. Now, he shouted, and Goku and Vegeta unleashed a simultaneous Kamehameha and Galactic gun, obliterating the drones in a blinding explosion. As the smoke cleared, Zorgax lay defeated, his monstrous form crumbling into doughy rubble. Frieza, however, was nowhere to be seen. He's gone, Vegeta muttered, his fists clenched in frustration. But this isn't over. Goku nodded, his expression serious for once. He's planning something big. We need to be ready. The arena was in shambles, but the competitors had survived. The Galactic Pizza Tournament was far from over, but the stakes had changed. No longer was it just about glory or bragging rights, it was about survival, unity, and the fate of the universe itself. As the dust settled, Goku looked out at his friends and rivals, a determined smile on his face. No matter what happens, we'll face it together, he said, his voice filled with resolve. And with that, the battle for the galaxy's future continued, one slice at a time. The Galactic Pizza Tournament was in full swing, the air thick with the aroma of sizzling toppings and the crackling energy of combat. Goku and his team had just narrowly secured their spot in the semifinals, their pizza-making skills and martial arts prowess proving a formidable combination. But as the crowd roared and the announcer hyped up the next round, a new figure stepped into the arena, casting a shadow that seemed to ripple with an otherworldly energy. The newcomer was a tall, lean figure clad in a sleek black and silver bodysuit, their face partially obscured by a helmet that shimmered like liquid metal. Their presence was magnetic, drawing the attention of everyone in the stadium, including Goku, who tilted his head curiously. Who's that? Goku asked, squinting at the figure as they approached the center of the arena. Vegeta, standing beside him, crossed his arms and scowled. TCH. Another fool looking to make a name for themselves. Probably some low-level mercenary. But Bulma, who had been monitoring the tournament's data on her tablet, frowned. Wait a second, I don't recognize this fighter. They weren't in the preliminary rounds. They just appeared. The announcer's voice boomed over the speakers, introducing the newcomer. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for a surprise entrant. Please welcome Nova Stellaris, the Cosmic Chef. Nova removed their helmet, revealing a face that was both striking and enigmatic. Their skin had a faint, iridescent glow, and their eyes shimmered like twin galaxies. They smirked, their voice carrying a melodic yet dangerous tone. I hope I'm not too late to join the fun. I've been looking forward to testing my skills against the legendary Son Goku. Goku grinned, stepping forward. Well, you came to the right place. Let's see what you've got. But before Goku could charge in, Vegeta grabbed his shoulder. Idiot. Don't just rush in. Something about this one feels off, Nova chuckled, their gaze shifting to Vegeta. Ah, the Prince of Scions. I've heard much about you. Tell me, do you still carry the weight of your failures, or have you finally moved past them? Vegeta's eyes narrowed, his fists clenching. Watch your tongue, or I'll rip it out. The tension in the arena was palpable as Nova stepped onto the battlefield, their movements fluid and deliberate. They raised a hand, and a swirling vortex of energy formed above their palm, coalescing into a glowing pizza cutter that hummed with power. Let's see if you can handle a taste of the cosmos, Nova said, their voice dripping with confidence. Goku wasted no time, launching himself at Nova with a burst of speed. He threw a punch, but Nova sidestepped effortlessly, their movements almost preternatural. Goku followed up with a flurry of strikes, each one met with a precise counter or dodge. Nova's pizza cutter flashed, deflecting Goku's attacks with ease. Not bad, Nova said, their smirk widening. But you'll need more than brute force to beat me. Vegeta, unable to stand idly by, joined the fray, his aura flaring as he powered up to Super Saiyan. Let's see how you handle this, he roared, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts. Nova spun their pizza cutter, creating a shimmering barrier that absorbed the attacks. With a flick of their wrist, they sent the energy hurtling back at Vegeta, forcing him to dodge. "You're strong," Nova admitted, "but strength alone won't win this fight." Goku and Vegeta exchanged a glance, their rivalry momentarily set aside as they realized they were facing a truly formidable opponent. As the battle raged on, Nova's true motives began to surface. Between exchanges of blows, they revealed a connection to Frieza, the tyrant who had caused so much pain for Goku and Vegeta. "Frieza may be gone, but his legacy lives on," Nova said, their voice tinged with bitterness. "I was one of his experiments, a being created to harness the power of the stars. But I refuse to be a pawn in anyone's game. I'll carve my own path, and this tournament is just the beginning." Goku's expression hardened. "If you're looking for a fight, you've got one. But we're not going to let you use this tournament for your own agenda," Nova laughed, a sound that echoed like distant thunder. "We'll see about that." The fight reached a fever pitch as Nova unleashed their ultimate technique, summoning a massive, swirling galaxy of energy above the arena. The gravitational pull was immense, threatening to tear the stadium apart. Goku and Vegeta powered up to their maximum forms, their auras blazing as they prepared to counter the attack. "Kamehameha," Goku shouted, firing a massive energy wave. "Galactic gun," Vegeta roared, his own attack joining Goku's. The two beams collided with Nova's galaxy, creating an explosion of light and energy that shook the very fabric of reality. When the dust settled, Nova stood amidst the wreckage, their body flickering with residual energy. They looked at Goku and Vegeta, a hint of respect in their eyes. "Impressive," they said, their voice softer now. "Perhaps I misjudged you. But this isn't over. The Galactic Pizza Tournament is just the beginning of something much bigger." With that, Nova vanished in a flash of light, leaving Goku and Vegeta to ponder their words. The team regrouped, their cohesion tested but ultimately strengthened by the encounter. As they prepared for the next round, one thing was clear: the stakes had just gotten higher, and the arrival of Nova Stellaris had shifted the dynamics of the tournament in ways they couldn't yet fully comprehend. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had reached its climax, and Goku stood in the center of the arena, his fists clenched and his breathing steady. The crowd roared as the announcer declared the final round: Goku versus the mysterious and undefeated champion, Chef Zorak. The stakes were higher than ever. Not only was the title of Galactic Pizza Champion on the line, but the tournament's grand prize, the legendary Eternal Dough, was said to grant unimaginable power to whoever wielded it. Goku had entered the tournament for the thrill of competition, but now he realized the stakes were far greater than he had imagined. As the match began, Goku and Zorak squared off, their pizza-making stations glowing with cosmic energy. The rules were simple: create the most delicious, visually stunning, and energy-infused pizza in the galaxy. But this was no ordinary cooking battle. The ingredients were alive, the ovens roared like dragons, and the very fabric of space-time seemed to warp around them as they worked. Goku's hands moved with lightning speed, kneading dough infused with his ki, while Zorak's movements were eerily precise, his dark aura pulsing with an otherworldly power. The first half of the match was a dazzling display of skill and creativity. Goku's pizza radiated with the warmth of his spirit, each slice glowing like a miniature sun. Zorak's creation, however, was a masterpiece of darkness, its flavors so intense they seemed to pull the light from the room. The judges were torn, their taste buds overwhelmed by the clash of light and shadow. But just as Goku was about to deliver his final garnish, a sudden tremor shook the arena. The crowd gasped as the Eternal Dough, suspended above the battlefield, began to crackle with energy. Zorak's voice cut through the chaos, cold and mocking. "You've been a worthy opponent, Goku, but this tournament was never about pizza. It was about gathering enough energy to awaken the Eternal Dough's true power, and now, thanks to your efforts, it's mine to command." With a wave of his hand, Zorak unleashed a surge of dark energy, shattering the barrier around the Eternal Dough. The artifact floated into his grasp, its golden glow turning black as it absorbed his malevolent energy. The arena trembled as Zorak's power surged, his form expanding into a monstrous, dough-like titan with eyes that burned like dying stars. Goku's heart raced as he realized the truth. Zorak had manipulated the tournament from the start, using the competitor's energy to fuel his rise to power. The Eternal Dough was no mere prize, it was a weapon capable of reshaping the galaxy. Goku clenched his fists, his Saiyan instinct screaming for a fight, but he knew brute strength alone wouldn't be enough. Zorak's power was unlike anything he had faced before, a fusion of culinary mastery and cosmic destruction. The stakes had shifted dramatically, and Goku's goal was no longer to win a tournament but to save the galaxy from annihilation. The battle that followed was a desperate struggle. Goku launched himself at Zorak, his fists glowing with ki, but the Do Titan's form was elastic and unpredictable. Each punch seemed to sink into Zorak's body, only to be absorbed and countered with a blast of dark energy. Goku dodged and weaved, his movements a blur, but Zorak's attacks were relentless. The arena was reduced to rubble as the two clashed, their power shaking the very foundations of the galaxy. Goku's friends watched in horror from the sidelines, unable to intervene as the battle raged on. As the fight wore on, Goku began to notice something strange. Zorak's power was immense, but it seemed to fluctuate, as if the eternal Do was resisting his control. Goku's mind raced as he pieced together the clues. The eternal Do was a force of creation, not destruction. It had been corrupted by Zorak's dark energy, but perhaps it could be purified. Goku's eyes narrowed with determination. He needed to find a way to tap into the Do's true power and turn the tide of the battle. With a burst of speed, Goku created some distance between himself and Zorak, his hands glowing as he channeled his energy into a new technique. He focused on the warmth of his spirit, the joy of cooking, and the bonds he shared with his friends. The energy around him shifted, taking on a golden hue as he infused it with the essence of his heart. Zorak sneered, dismissing Goku's efforts as futile, but the Saiyan warrior wasn't finished. With a roar, Goku unleashed his new attack, the Spirit Pizza Wave, a massive disc of golden energy shaped like a pizza, radiating with the power of creation. The Spirit Pizza Wave collided with Zorak's dark form, the clash of energies creating a shockwave that shattered the remnants of the arena. For a moment, it seemed as though Zorak would absorb the attack, but then something incredible happened. The eternal Do began to glow, its blackened surface cracking to reveal a radiant core. Zorak screamed as the Do's true power surged, purging his corruption and restoring its original form. The Do Titan crumbled, its monstrous form dissolving into a cascade of golden light. Goku landed on the ground, his body battered but his spirit unbroken. The eternal Do floated gently into his hands, its warmth a stark contrast to the cold darkness it had been tainted with. The crowd erupted into cheers, but Goku's victory felt hollow. He had saved the galaxy, but at what cost? Zorak's betrayal had shaken him, and the realization that the tournament had been a ruse left a bitter taste in his mouth. He looked down at the eternal Do, its power humming softly in his grasp, and made a decision. This power. It's too dangerous for anyone to wield, Goku said, his voice firm. I'm going to return it to where it belongs, somewhere no one can abuse it again. His friends nodded in agreement, their faces filled with relief and pride. The journey ahead would be difficult, but they knew Goku would see it through. As the dust settled and the stars began to shine once more, Goku took a deep breath, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Galactic Pizza Tournament was over, but the battle for the galaxy's future had only just begun. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had taken a dark turn. After the shocking revelation that the tournament's organizer, Lord Crustaceo, was using the event to harvest the life energy of its participants to fuel his ultimate weapon, the Do Star, Goku and his allies found themselves facing overwhelming odds. The Do Star, a massive pizza-shaped space station, was nearing completion, and its activation would spell doom for the entire galaxy. With time running out, Goku, Vegeta, and their newfound allies had no choice but to escalate their efforts, pushing their limits to stop Crustaceo's sinister plan. The group had retreated to a hidden training facility on planet Mozzarella, a lush world covered in rolling cheese plains and bubbling tomato sauce lakes. It was here that they began their intense preparation, knowing that brute force alone wouldn't be enough to defeat Crustaceo's elite warriors, the Topping Titans. These genetically enhanced fighters, each representing a different pizza topping, were nearly invincible, their powers amplified by the Do Star's energy. Goku and Vegeta knew they had to get stronger, and fast. Goku sparred with Vegeta in a makeshift arena carved into a giant wheel of Parmesan. Their fists clashed with explosive force, sending shockwaves rippling through the air. "You're still holding back, Kakarot." Vegeta growled, his aura flaring as he launched a barrage of energy blasts. Goku dodged and weaved, his movements fluid but strained. "I'm trying to conserve energy, Vegeta. We can't afford to burn out before the real fight," Goku replied, his voice tense. Despite their rivalry, both warriors knew they had to work together. They pushed each other to new heights, their training sessions growing more intense with each passing hour. Meanwhile, Bulma and the Galactic Pizza Guild's top scientists worked tirelessly to uncover a weakness in the Do Star. "If we can disrupt the energy flow between the Do Star and the Topping Titans, we might be able to weaken them," Bulma muttered, her fingers flying over a holographic keyboard. "But we'll need a way to get inside the station without being detected." Piccolo, who had been quietly meditating nearby, opened his eyes. "I can use my cloaking abilities to infiltrate the Do Star," he offered. But I'll need a distraction to get close enough. As the team strategized, Krillin and Android 18 ventured into the nearby Pepperoni Forest to forge an alliance with the Mozzarellan Resistance, a group of rebels who had been fighting against Crustaceo's tyranny for years. The forest was a treacherous place, filled with carnivorous pepperoni vines and molten cheese geysers. "This place is a death trap," Krillin muttered, narrowly dodging a spurt of boiling cheese. "Stay focused," Android 18 replied, her tone calm but firm. "We need their help if we're going to stand a chance." After a grueling journey, they finally reached the Resistance's hidden base, a fortress carved into a massive meatball. The rebels were skeptical at first, but Krillin's earnest plea and Android 18's no-nonsense attitude eventually won them over. "We'll join your fight," their leader, a grizzled warrior named Ricotta, declared. "But know this, Crustaceo's forces are relentless. We'll need a solid plan to take them down." Back at the training facility, Goku and Vegeta had reached a breakthrough. During a particularly intense sparring session, Goku tapped into a new form, his aura shifting to a shimmering silver as his power surged. "This is it," Goku said, his voice steady but filled with determination. "This is the form I need to beat Crustaceo." Vegeta smirked, his own aura flaring as he powered up to match Goku's newfound strength. "Don't get too cocky, Kakarot. I'm not far behind." With their training complete and alliances forged, the team prepared for their final assault on the Do Star. The plan was risky. Piccolo would infiltrate the station to sabotage its energy core, while Goku, Vegeta, and the Mozzarellan Resistance would launch a full-scale attack to distract the topping titans. Bulma and the scientists would provide support from the ground, using their technology to disrupt the Do Star's defenses. The battle began with a deafening roar as Goku and Vegeta charged into the fray, their new forms blazing with power. The topping titans met them head-on, their attacks devastating and relentless. Goku faced off against Pepperoni Pete, a towering warrior whose punches rained down like fiery meteors. "You're strong," Goku admitted, blocking a strike with his forearm. "But I'm not backing down." He countered with a powerful Kamehameha wave, the energy blast carving a path through the battlefield. Vegeta, meanwhile, clashed with Mushroom Maria, a nimble fighter who used her spores to disorient her opponents. "Pathetic tricks," Vegeta sneered, his aura burning away the spores. "Let's see how you handle this." He unleashed a flurry of energy blasts, forcing Maria to retreat. But the topping titans were relentless, their powers amplified by the Do Star's energy. Despite their best efforts, Goku and Vegeta were being pushed to their limits. As the battle raged on, Piccolo made his way deep into the Do Star, his cloaking abilities allowing him to evade detection. He reached the energy core, a massive reactor pulsing with raw power. "This is it," Piccolo muttered, his hands glowing as he prepared to unleash a powerful blast. But before he could strike, he was confronted by Crustaceo himself. "You're too late," Crustaceo sneered, his eyes gleaming with malice. "The Do Star is already active. Your efforts are futile." Piccolo's eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that," he said, launching himself at Crustaceo with a fierce roar. The two clashed in a brutal battle, their attacks shaking the very foundations of the station. Outside, Goku and Vegeta continued to fight, their bodies battered but unyielding. "We can't give up," Goku said, his voice filled with resolve. "Not while there's still a chance." With a final, desperate effort, Goku and Vegeta combined their powers, unleashing a massive energy wave that engulfed the topping titans. The explosion was blinding, the shockwave rippling across the battlefield. When the dust settled, the topping titans lay defeated, their powers drained. Inside the Do Star, Piccolo delivered the final blow to the energy core, causing the station to shudder and collapse. As the Do Star crumbled, Goku and Vegeta stood amidst the wreckage, their bodies battered but victorious. "We did it," Goku said, a weary smile on his face. "But this isn't over," Vegeta replied, his eyes scanning the horizon. "Crustaceo's still out there, and he won't stop until he's destroyed." The stakes had never been higher, but Goku and his allies had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they could rise to the challenge. With their newfound strength and unbreakable resolve, they were ready to face whatever came next. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had reached its boiling point, the arena trembling under the weight of the competitors' unleashed power. Goku stood at the center of the chaos, his gi torn and his body glistening with sweat, but his eyes burned with unyielding determination. Across from him, Vegeta smirked, his aura flaring like a supernova as he cracked his knuckles. The two scions had been battling for what felt like hours, their fists and ki blasts colliding in a symphony of destruction. The crowd, a mix of alien species from across the galaxy, roared with excitement, their cheers echoing through the massive stadium. The stakes were higher than ever, not just for the title of Galactic Pizza Champion, but for pride, honor, and the thrill of pushing their limits. Goku launched forward, his movements a blur as he closed the distance between himself and Vegeta in an instant. His fist rocketed toward Vegeta's face, but the Prince of Scions ducked under the blow with a smirk, countering with a brutal uppercut that sent Goku skidding backward. Goku grinned, wiping a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth. "Not bad, Vegeta," he said, his voice steady despite the fatigue creeping into his muscles. "But I'm just getting warmed up." With a roar, Goku's aura exploded into a golden flame, his hair spiking upward as he ascended to Super Saiyan 3. The sheer force of his transformation sent shockwaves rippling through the arena, cracking the ground beneath his feet. Vegeta's eyes narrowed, his smirk widening into a feral grin. "You think that's enough to beat me, Kakarot? Don't make me laugh." He clenched his fists, his own aura surging as he powered up to Super Saiyan Blue evolution. The air around him crackled with energy, his muscles bulging as he pushed his body to its absolute limit. Without warning, Vegeta lunged, his speed rivaling Goku's as he unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks. Goku blocked and countered with precision, their movements so fast they became a blur of golden and blue light. Each strike sent shockwaves through the arena, the ground fracturing further with every impact. Goku ducked under a spinning kick from Vegeta, his fist slamming into the prince's gut with enough force to send him flying backward. Vegeta recovered midair, flipping gracefully before firing a barrage of ki blasts toward Goku. Goku's hands moved in a blur, deflecting the blasts with ease, but Vegeta was already closing in, his fist glowing with a concentrated blast of energy. Goku barely had time to cross his arms in front of his face, the impact sending him skidding across the arena floor. He gritted his teeth, his feet digging into the ground as he came to a stop. "You're not holding back, huh?" Goku said, his grin widening. "Good. Neither will I." With a roar, Goku's aura flared even brighter, his power surging as he tapped into Ultra Instinct. His movements became fluid and effortless, his body dodging Vegeta's attacks with an almost supernatural grace. Vegeta's eyes widened in shock as Goku effortlessly sidestepped a devastating punch, countering with a palm strike that sent Vegeta crashing into the arena wall. The crowd erupted in cheers, their excitement reaching a fever pitch as the two Scions pushed each other to new heights. Vegeta pushed himself off the wall, his expression darkening as he wiped blood from his lip. "You think you're the only one who can adapt, Kakarot?" he growled, his voice low and dangerous. He clenched his fists, his aura shifting as he tapped into his own version of Ultra Instinct, a technique he had been refining in secret. His movements became sharper, more precise, as he closed the distance between himself and Goku in an instant. Their fists collided in a thunderous clash, the shockwave ripping through the arena and sending debris flying in all directions. The battle raged on, each fighter pushing past their limits as they adapted to the other's strategies. Goku's Ultra Instinct allowed him to anticipate Vegeta's moves, but Vegeta's raw power and determination kept him in the fight. They traded blows, their fists and ki blasts colliding in explosions of light and energy. The ground beneath them cracked and crumbled, the arena reduced to a wasteland of destruction. Despite the chaos, neither fighter showed any signs of backing down. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta found themselves locked in a high-energy clash, their auras merging into a blinding sphere of light. The sheer force of their power threatened to tear the arena apart, the crowd holding their breath as they watched the two Scions push themselves to the brink. Goku's muscles strained as he poured every ounce of his strength into the clash, his body trembling with the effort. Vegeta's face was a mask of determination, his teeth gritted as he refused to yield. Finally, with a deafening roar, the two fighters unleashed their full power, the resulting explosion engulfing the arena in a blinding light. When the dust settled, Goku and Vegeta stood facing each other, their bodies battered and bruised but their spirits unbroken. The crowd erupted into cheers, their excitement reaching a fever pitch as they realized they had just witnessed one of the greatest battles in the history of the Galactic Pizza Tournament. Goku grinned, extending a hand toward Vegeta. "That was one heck of a fight," he said, his voice filled with admiration. Vegeta hesitated for a moment before smirking and clasping Goku's hand in a firm grip. "Don't get used to it, Kakarot," he said, his tone gruff but with a hint of respect. "Next time, I won't hold back." As the two Scions stood side by side, the crowd's cheers echoing through the arena, the announcer's voice boomed over the loudspeakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible display of power and skill. The Galactic Pizza Tournament has never seen anything like this before." The announcer paused, his voice trembling with excitement. "But the battle isn't over yet. Who will emerge victorious and claim the title of Galactic Pizza Champion? Stay tuned for the next round." The crowd roared with anticipation as Goku and Vegeta exchanged a knowing glance, their rivalry reignited and their determination stronger than ever. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had reached its climax, and the battles to come would push them even further beyond their limits. As the lights dimmed and the arena began to repair itself, Goku and Vegeta prepared for the next round, their hearts pounding with the thrill of the fight. The stage was set for an epic conclusion, and neither Saiyan would rest until they had proven themselves the strongest. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had reached its climax, the air thick with the aroma of sizzling cheese, scorched dough, and the faint metallic tang of energy blasts. The arena, a massive floating platform in the heart of the galaxy, was littered with the remnants of pizza ovens, shattered plates, and the occasional unconscious competitor. Goku stood at the center, his gi torn and singed, his breathing ragged but his eyes blazing with determination. Across from him stood his final opponent, the enigmatic and ruthless Pizza King, a towering figure clad in a chef's apron adorned with glowing galactic emblems. His hands crackled with cosmic energy, each movement sending shockwaves through the arena. The stakes had never been higher, not just for the title of Galactic Pizza Champion, but for the fate of the universe itself. The Pizza King had revealed his true plan, to use the tournament's energy to create a black hole pizza that would consume all existence. Goku, ever the defender of the innocent, had vowed to stop him. The Pizza King lunged forward, his fists glowing with a swirling vortex of dough and stardust. Goku dodged, his movements a blur, but the sheer force of the attack sent him skidding backward. "You're strong, I'll give you that," Goku admitted, wiping a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth. "But I'm not done yet." He clenched his fists, his aura flaring to life as he powered up to Super Saiyan Blue. The crowd, a mix of alien species and Earthlings, roared in awe as the two titans clashed once more. Their fists collided with a shockwave that shattered the remaining ovens and sent debris flying into the void of space. Goku gritted his teeth, feeling the strain in every muscle. The Pizza King was unlike any opponent he had faced before, his attacks were unpredictable, his energy chaotic and overwhelming. As the battle raged on, Goku began to notice something strange. The Pizza King's movements, while powerful, lacked the precision of a true martial artist. It was as if he was relying solely on raw energy, his techniques fueled by desperation rather than skill. Goku's eyes narrowed. "You're not just fighting for the title, are you?" he shouted over the din of their clash. The Pizza King hesitated, his expression flickering with something akin to regret. "You wouldn't understand," he growled, launching another devastating punch. Goku blocked it, the impact sending him sliding across the arena floor. "Try me," he said, his voice steady despite the pain. The Pizza King's next attack came in the form of a massive energy sphere, a swirling mix of dough and stardust that grew larger with each passing second. Goku recognized the danger immediately. This was the black hole pizza, the weapon that could destroy everything. He had to act fast. Summoning every ounce of his strength, Goku charged forward, his fists glowing with the energy of the spirit bomb. The two attacks collided in a blinding explosion of light and sound, the force of the impact shaking the very fabric of the galaxy. Goku felt his body being pushed to its absolute limit, his muscles screaming in protest, but he refused to give in. "I won't let you destroy everything," he roared, his voice echoing through the cosmos. In that moment, something extraordinary happened. Goku's aura began to shift, the familiar blue light giving way to a radiant silver. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity as he tapped into a power he had never accessed before, Ultra Instinct. The Pizza King's eyes widened in shock as Goku's movements became impossibly fast, his attacks flowing with a grace and precision that defied comprehension. What is this?" the Pizza King stammered, his confidence faltering. Goku didn't answer. Instead, he focused all his energy into a single, devastating punch. The impact was cataclysmic, the black hole pizza disintegrating into harmless stardust as the Pizza King was sent flying across the arena. The crowd fell silent as the dust settled, the only sound the faint hum of the arena's energy shields. Goku stood victorious, his body trembling with exhaustion but his spirit unbroken. The Pizza King lay motionless, his apron torn and his energy depleted. Slowly, he raised his head, his expression one of defeat but also relief. You did it," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "You stopped me." Goku walked over to him, extending a hand. "It's over," he said simply. The Pizza King hesitated, then took Goku's hand, allowing himself to be pulled to his feet. I never wanted to destroy the universe," he admitted, his voice heavy with regret. "I just wanted to create the perfect pizza. But I lost sight of what was important." Goku nodded, his expression softening. "Sometimes, we get so caught up in our goals that we forget why we started in the first place," he said. but it's never too late to make things right. The Pizza King looked at him, a flicker of hope in his eyes. You think so? He asked. Goku smiled. I know so. Together, they turned to face the crowd, which erupted into cheers and applause. The Galactic Pizza Tournament had ended not with destruction, but with redemption. In the aftermath, the universe began to heal. The Pizza King, now stripped of his destructive ambitions, dedicated himself to using his culinary skills for good, opening a chain of intergalactic pizzerias that brought people together rather than tearing them apart. Goku, meanwhile, returned to Earth, his bond with his friends and family stronger than ever. The battle had taken its toll, but it had also reminded him of the importance of balance, between strength and compassion, ambition and humility. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, Goku sat on the roof of Capsule Corp, a slice of pizza in hand. He took a bite, savoring the flavors that reminded him of the tournament and the lessons he had learned. Not bad, he said with a grin. But I think I'll stick to fighting for now. Below him, the sounds of laughter and conversation filled the air, a testament to the peace he had fought so hard to protect. The Galactic Pizza Tournament was over, but its impact would be felt for generations to come. And as Goku looked up at the stars, he knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would always be ready to face them, with a smile on his face and a slice of pizza in hand.